I'm Quent,
I'm Aron.
and together we're Quent and Aron.
Two halves making a whole.
Pretty much. That's all we got.
Sharing the brain.
It does take both of us.
Yeah, well, you have permanent custody. I just have visitation on weekends.
Yeah, it's kind of abused on my side, though.
It's overrated, this whole thinking thing.
Yeah, true.
Facts. So today, we're not even sure what the hell we're talking about today. I think we should talk about what we're actually doing, which is editing, which I despise with a fiery passion that burns with the intensity of a million white-hot suns.
Anyway, yes, editing that you hate with a fiery, burning passion. And I just wish I had a better handle on.
Yeah, I hate it. Story is written. I hate going back and having to rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it. And I hate the fact the one we're doing now, Troubled Waters, we started editing that in 2017. I'm done. I'm over it. Like, I'm sick of it. I love the book. I love the stories. But, you could literally go on forever and continue to find problems. It is
Yes. Well, and that's the big problem with editing and with writing in general, is it's a creative process, and there's never a perfect way of doing any of it. You can always tweak it, you can always change it, and at some point you do have to just call it good and say that it is done. The problem with Troubled Waters is it's the first book that we finished, and we've learned a lot since then, and so now we kind of have to go back and do the whole pull out filler words and get rid of passive voice.
It's not the first book we finished. It's the first
true.
in this series, but it's not the first
yes.
we finished.
That is true, but we didn't try to publish the other one.
Yeah, it's the first book we finished with any intentions of attempting to publish.
Yeah. Yeah, in which case we've learned a lot about standards and what's really expected, and it means that we're going back and editing more than we would really like. Definitely more than you would like.
Yeah, I'm it makes me miserable. I hate doing it. I hate doing it.
Probably August or something, I printed out a hard copy. Actually, I had already had the hard copy, but I started going through it and making notes on things that needed to change as far as passive voice really is the big one. And I've been transferring it over now into the computer document, the Google Doc that we share. And we decided to try to submit it to a contest. And if you pay an extra fee, you get some feedback, which would be invaluable. But to do that, we have to actually get the first two scenes in pristine order, because that's what's getting submitted.
Well, I think in better order. I think saying pristine for a contest isn't going to happen.
Lower my standards?
Yeah, pristine, we're going to try to get it as pristine as possible when you submit it for publishing, but pristine for this contest, not going to happen. I mean, especially,
yeah,
it's got to be in, and meanwhile, I've got one kid graduating high school, one kid finishing up his soccer season, tournaments. I have 3 12s in a row that I've got to work. It's a shift to another new department, and we both have school and work and families, and my son shipping out to the Marines. It's a busy couple weeks coming up. So I think pristine is overshooting what we're capable of. I think pretty okay.
Always high hopes.
There's a difference between high hopes and, Quinn is oh, I want to try to do this. I've never done it before. I don't think I'll start with the bunny slopes. I'm going to go down Death Mountain. And I'm you know what? I think I need to just think about possibly doing this some more. Give me a few years and I'll get up the courage to try the beginner's bunny slope in full protective gear.
Also, why my characters are always blowing things up and yours are always thinking about things. Zero balance.
Talked wolf a couple times. And
It's true, but that's because I had Wolf do things and interact with your thinking characters.
pretty sure Emery shot all of them but Dex and Fletcher. But give her time.
We need to fix that. We have to fix that.
Give her time, she'll shoot them too.
Yeah. It's kind of a running joke. At some point, she's gonna shoot everyone.
Although Dex would be the hardest because Dex has the most gentlemanly mannerisms and very set, rigid, high-functioning autism rules of how you treat women, and she falls firmly in that category. So she doesn't ever really feel threatened by him, even though he is physically the most intimidating.
Maybe she accidentally shoots him.
She doesn't accidentally shoot anyone. The one thing she is a damn good shot because she knows that she's not going to win a fight.
Maybe she's aiming for Wolf or Cruiser again and he gets in the way.
He's not that dumb. He sees Emery pulling out a gun. He is not trying to get in between that shit. Oh, no. Nope. He's just like putting on his Kevlar helmet. Yep. Fucking cover.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no arguing that. I mean, that's self-preservation. Even at its lowest, nobody's going to want to get shot.
No, not by Emery. And I believe she gives them all fair warning, and they ignore her for some unknown reason. Oh, right.
I don't think she gave Cruiser fair warning.
She gave Cruiser warning.
I don't think she did.
Yeah, she said, come another step closer to me and I will shoot you. And he came another step closer and she shot him. And he was completely stunned. Oh, ew, she shot me. Oh, I warned you. I had a weapon pulled and I told you. Come close.
Yeah.
Take another step and I'm going to shoot you. Wolf, the same deal.
Didn't Dex knock him out right after that too? Because he wouldn't stop.
Yeah, because he called Dex an ape. Which is a line that you don't get to cross. It's not that Cruiser's a racist. Cruiser's an idiot.
Cruiser is an idiot.
In fact, I
He
believe
runs his mouth.
what Dex says. It's not that he's a racist. He's an idiot, and that's a stupid tax that he needs to pay.
Yes.
She shot me, yeah.
And he does. And he does. And when he wakes back up, he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm good for that.
Ah, and how's he feel
Because
about Emery shooting him?
that just washes away everything. Because he's an idiot.
But he's all hung up that Emery shot him, even though she warned him.
Well, she winged him.
Because she chose to at the last second. Let me tell you what. And it was real hard to move that barrel over. And even she knows every time you're taking a shot at one of them, it could end up in a death, but it's gotta be me or you. It ain't gonna be me. I ain't going like that when I got a Glock in my hand. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, look, already off topic because I really don't want to. I don't even like talking about editing. It's just, and I actually like content editing and beta reading because I think there are so many, like, plot flaws and things that we know as the writers and the authors that we don't realize haven't been conveyed. So I really think that content editing and beta reading helps with that. But this switching voices, changing tenses.
Did I screw all the tenses up? So I made a bunch of changes and I was like, I am going to take the brunt of editing for Aron because I don't really mind editing. Like, I think that it's practicing, it's refining the craft, it's learning, but I just don't have a super refined skill set.
Sometimes what I'm finding with craft.
This is also why, as a kid, I would literally practice free throws for hours because I don't mind it. It's all towards perfection.
I'm not finding craft. Well, that's simply stunning. Sometimes I do that, but only when I'm vacationing on the Riviera.
Pinky's out.
Yeah, I don't know why you put up with me when I talk shit like that, but hey, whatever. You gotta roll with it. What we do. See, and I'm like, yeah, I'm bored now. Look, squirrel.
Yes. Well, but then, like, I went into the document because you were editing it. And I was like, oh my God, clearly I did not do a good job.
Yeah, except what actually happened there?
I don't know.
You do. You were there. Well, what happened when I actually got it out of the stupid suggestion mode? It really wasn't much editing at all. It just looked because I couldn't figure out how to get it out of suggestion mode.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't.
Things.
I couldn't track what you were doing. Yeah, I don't know if the computer was being weird or whatever, but like I lost track of what you were doing, and then you went to idle, so I figured you fell asleep or something. But the computer was being stupid last night, so.
Yeah, well, if you look at it now, you'll see it's not that much.
Did you like change colors on what you did?
Most of what I worked with was in the red.
Oh, did I screw up all the tenses?
No.
No?
Nope. There were a couple you missed, but for the most part, they're the right tense, I think.
Oh, look at me. So much better than I thought.
Oh, that's because you've honed your craft.
Yeah, I really don't think that.
I'm honing my craft. I changed ED to ING.
And like the Emery scenes. The Emery scenes are hard because I don't want to get her wrong, and she has a very unique voice. So like, I hesitate to like edit or add in thoughts or whatever on her behalf.
Your content notes on that one, I was like, you're like, oh, does she need to explain this? I'm like, it's literally in the next paragraph. It's like,
oh no, and I'm
one sentence done.
I made notes like as I went.
I can,
and a lot of it was like broken up. Like I didn't ever have a chance to sit down and do a complete read through for the whole scene, right? So it's just like 20 minutes here, like on my lunch break, I'm making notes on things or whatever, and not like the whole thing. So yeah, there's probably that.
Oh, there is.
I probably had to go start an IV or something on someone.
Scroll down and you'll see the page down. It's right there.
Which is good though, because you can just click resolved. X. No, we don't need to do that.
I'm like, no. Like, do we need to explain this? I'm like, no.
Which is fine.
Because I was tired and cranky. No, it's just dumb. I don't like it. I want to play with them and see what they do and come up with new stuff and not dilly in the old stuff. And then actually a big part of it is too, is we know more than one writer who never finishes a goddamn story because they just keep editing and changing and changing and changing. And we have a pact. We don't start things we're not going to finish. Like, I have to know how it ends. I can't, I worked with one other person that did that, and that was like, no, not happening. We come into it, there's the basic idea, the arc is already there. At the beginning, the end, and the major drama in the middle. However, that exact endpoint, the details of it changes as you write it, but I need to know how it ends.
Yeah.
I don't want to play, and I don't want to be just rewriting the same story, trying to find some type of perfection, which just isn't going to happen.
No, and I have no interest in that either, but we do know that we have...
For me, I'm honing my craft for perfection. I enjoy doing it. You want it perfect. No, it doesn't matter if you know.
But I do, but like I don't enjoy the idea of perpetually doing it. Like we've identified a couple weak areas. We're going back and we're trying to fix that. And hopefully we don't discover any more complete, like, you know, not knowing what we're talking about type deals, and we won't have to do it again.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure we did discover one. Just the whole, like, we had a plot device that forced Cruiser and Sam together, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, you know, I know this has been like 7 years now, but we don't have to force them together. Like, they're being chased by criminals. They need to split up. She's got to be protected, and logically, he's one you would do it with. So, whoops.
Yeah.
There's a major plot point we just got to scratch out there. Erase that out.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think we only mentioned it like once or twice.
Yeah, because originally this entire book started with one scene that we did, which was like, okay, how are we going to get Cruiser? How is any woman ever going to stand Cruiser? Because he's an asshole. And
Yeah.
we literally had to force a character to be with him. And that's why we had to have that plot device. But as the story grew and everything else grew around it, I think it's pretty obvious we don't really need like, all the people trying to kill them kind of we don't need that.
I'm still horribly amused by the fact that you woke up in the middle of the night with this random thought that I had actively been editing and like in it, and never once occurred to me. Never once. Just brushed right. Yeah, that's a detail. Brushed right by it.
Really would have preferred to have slept. Not gonna lie. That's why I do stuff like, you know, sleep through alarms, because I go weeks without, you know, sleeping right, and then when I finally do, there's just no getting up.
Yeah. Yeah, which you need your sleep.
I'm tired. Tired, but I still really do. Like, I want to get through that scene, but also I had to rearrange everything where we shoot because I got a new desk, and it looks like a laundry cannon exploded all over my room. And we can't film facing it because it's mortifying, and I'm not going to, you know, I work 312s in a row coming up because my employer hates me. Forgets that I'm old. 312s in a row is tough when you're old. And then I'll need at least a day or two to recover from that. So whatever this is, it's going to be there for a week. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do more? And the prioritizing is like, but I want to play. And the little time I have, I don't want to have to edit. And now I'm just a big whiny baby. Oh, I don't want to edit. I don't want to edit.
So I do a lot of the editing when you're at work and like we can't play anything because you're otherwise occupied, or you're sleeping, or you know you're at a soccer game or whatever. Like that's when I wind up doing a lot of the editing.
Yeah, and I'd be more than thrilled if that could be all of the editing. Basically, I'm just a big whiny baby.
Yeah, well, and I'm not opposed to doing the editing. It's just that I do need your seal of approval because it's kind of a team effort.
And
otherwise, it just turns into me changing things.
And to change the tenses, and because for someone who's a freaking genius, you definitely have an issue with subject verb. And I abuse commas. Not a little bit, like horribly abuse them. What I do to commas is a sin.
Yeah, see, subject, verb, and tenses, those will go on my study list.
At one point, it's going to click to you. I mean, it's just, what's the sentence about is the subject, and what happens in the sentence is the verb. And you have to have one of each, or else you don't have a sentence.
You should just go through and highlight all the areas that I screw it up and make me fix it.
No, because then you'd do that to me, and that would be a lot of areas.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh yeah, you could, because let's face it, for every comma and double space after a period.
The double spaces is irritating.
And I do it all the time because that's how I learned. You know, word
That's also how I learned, and then I made myself stop, and now I don't do it.
Oh, yeah, because you had been doing it for 20 years when they changed it? No.
Yes.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm going to say yes.
No, don't think so. You can try, but no, I know your age. So while it's an annoying process, there's definitely a time and a place for editing. I don't want to be those people that get caught and never finish what we're doing because we're looking for something completely unattainable. Although we definitely have a better product after the editing, the process blows.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's easy to fall into the trap of never being done with things, especially with editing. But that being said, the important thing is to finish the story, have the story out there and being told, and letting the characters live through that story and seeing them develop. The rest of it is all fine-tuning and just making things pretty. It has nothing to do with telling the story, though. It's just the delivery of it. So the fun part is definitely the writing and letting the characters live and come to life. The rest of it really does turn into work more than anything.
Yeah, and that's
but at the end, hopefully, it's work that it makes it beautiful.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't, I wouldn't be doing it, but you know, it just becomes more demanding when you've got actual work that you get paid for that needs your attention, and you need to do stuff like clean so you don't have bugs, because yeah, I just wish there was more time to make it more of a priority. And like just editing makes me want to stab myself in the eyeball. I think maybe we should work out some way where we can play and edit at the same time. So anyone out there know how to make this work better? Because Quinn's got shitty internet and I've got a shitty set of speakers and computer, so there's got to be a better way that is less frustrating. You don't see the 47 times it stops recording on us and we lose connection. But it kind of takes the free flow stream out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's because I live in a hole and my Wi-Fi really blows, and there's not too many alternatives.